Okay, so we've got a 2003 Toyota Rav 4 in for an alternator that's died and we're not charging the battery. So customers supplied a new alternator belt, and yeah, we'll get it up and we'll see what we can get done on it. Okay, so the alternator is pretty much orientated like that off the top of the sort of like the back side of the engine. So I've got a plug at the top, which I can see, and I've got the main power feed to it. Then I've got a top mount and a bottom mount, and then the belt that's going around. So what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to be able to film because I just can't get good enough. I can't get in there enough. So I'm going to mess about and pull the feed off, unplug it, see if I can have a feel around while I'm in there for the top bolt, then get it up in the air, get the belt off, and try and find the bottom bolt, and hopefully it comes out through the bottom. Right, so I'm going to lift it up a bit, disconnect the battery, stick that on charge, start disconnecting the wiring from the top, then go underneath, get the aux belt off, hopefully get the tensioner out of the way, and then hopefully work out how that alternator comes out. Hopefully it comes out the bottom and I can be sorted from there. So battery's on to 10 mils, so we're disconnecting. And the battery is completely dead. So hopefully we'll get some charge back into that while this the next couple of hours while I've got the work going on it, and go from there. Right, from underneath, we've got the alternator tucked right up here. I've got the bottom bolt just in there. Let's try and get the out. There we go. I've got the tensioner for that side. Typically, I've then got the alternator belt is on the inside of the crank pulley, which means I'm then going to have to take this outer belt off, which means up in there, that is the other auxiliary belt tensioner. So I'm going to have to loosen that one off and get that belt out, which runs the aircon right at the top, power steering, and then that way I can then get the other bottom pulley off, change all the belt over, and then rebuild. Okay. For the alternator belt, literally you go stick a spanner or a socket on the tensioner, pull it away, and you can see the belt going slack and loose. So one-handed is a bit more tricky, but basically you should be able to detension that enough to be able to slide it over the top of the alternator pulley, and then when you detension it, you should be able to get to what you need to. So the alternator belt's off. As I said, it's on the inside rib of the crank pulley, which means if it was on the outside, it'd be great because I can literally just undo the two bolts that are holding it on, which now with the belt out of the way, I can see the top one, which is handy. I've then got to try and work out how the fucking hell it's going to come out. We'll figure that one out later. And then get the other belt off. I I've loosened the other auxiliary belt tensioner. It's 14 mil on a threaded bolt. It's actually pretty decent. Spray it up and make sure it moves first. Then all I used was flexi socket on the end of a battery ratchet just to loosen them all off. I'm going to try not to take them off the pump at the top, but I think it's already come off. And now it should make it easier to hang it back on. So now that belt can come off out of the way, which, to be fair, doesn't look catastrophically bad, but I suppose while we're here, we'll change it. So, tensioner is loose and swings out of the way. Alternator's off and just sat in here, but there is no way of it maneuvering through the gap. So what I think we're going to have to do, we might either have to take the drive shaft off and try and pull that up out of the way. Hopefully that'll give us enough space, because I can't see that there's going to be space to get it out from any other way at the minute. It won't come out the top. I'm not dropping the subframe for it. I don't think there's enough space at the back end going through the track rod. So realistically, this is like the only way it can come out. It just needs that little bit. With the wheel off, it's actually looking like my best bet might be just to try and take this track rod end off. Hopefully have enough movement in it to swing it out of the way. And then it might come through that hole. You can see the back of the alternator there. So that's what the plan is going to be. I'm just hoping everything actually comes apart nicely. So it's out. Like normal, everything's took a disastrous turn, so had to split the bottom arm. I've had to take the drive shaft out, take the track rod end off, and then it just about wiggled through. So what I'm going to do is, it now stinks of diff oil, which is perfect. The drive shaft's absolutely huge, which is mint, but it's out. So everything's back together, new split pin in the track rod end. He's probably going to want a new one soon, but he's got some time. CV drive shaft's back in, new alternator is on, new belt is on, tension and everything's back on. The other belt that's covering it is back on. So yeah, drop it down, connect the plug and the power lead at the top, and test it. So battery's back on, everything's built back up. Yeah, start it up, see if it's charging. So 13.9, we're looking for 13.9, 14, 14.4, something like that. Basically anything over 12 volts, because it means that we are putting charge into this battery.